Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today, Network and Referral Marketing Success for Landscape and Hardscape Contractors. My name is Josh Blakeley from Landscape and Hardscape Contractor Marketing, and I am joined here today with Steve Wedeking from Wedeking Law. And the purpose of today's webinar, we're going to do an interview style format here and just dive into some really great strategies that that I've seen work really well for contractors in the outdoor living industry. And Steve just has a wealth of knowledge in this for both his business and just in seeing this work for so many other types of contractors and other home service companies as well. So firstly, Steve, I just want to welcome and thank you for joining us here today.
Hey, happy to be here. Looking forward to it.
Fantastic. So we're just going to run through a few key points here, and just for the people watching here, Steve and I are in a B&I group here in San Diego, La Mesa, California, and that's how we've met. And if you've done B&I, if you're a part of B&I, you know the focus is on network and referral marketing, but the premise is give as gain, that you put in the effort to get referrals and get business for other people, and then that in return comes back to you. And really, that's the whole sense of this topic here as well. And if you're watching this and you've done some of that yourself, hopefully you've just seen the rewards of when you put other people first and other people's businesses first, you get the rewards back there. But we're going to start here, and the first topic we wanted to run through here is how to master the art of generating warm referrals from your network. I've just mentioned B&I here, but Steve, would you like to kind of share when we talk about your network, like what might that entail, and what have you seen work really well for people generating a warm referral through that method?
Yeah. So, just start with, I think networking gives you the warmest referrals, right? Part of that is you're getting a referral from someone that has trust with the person they're referring. So you sort of get that trust, and that's what makes it warm, and what makes, I think, networking so powerful. Right. So there's a lot of different things. Like B&I is a good example, actually. Right. So we meet regularly with people that are there with the intention of giving referrals to other people in the room, to serving other people in the room, with the understanding that when they do that, it will make other people want to give referrals to you. And I think that's a great place to start as far as generating warm referrals. But it goes beyond, like, I think, meeting a group of people in a room. It's then getting to know those people a little better, understanding what is the ideal client for them, right? And hopefully they're getting to understand that about you as well. And so not only do you get a warm referral because it's from the person that's referring to you, the person that's getting referred trusts you already because they trust the person that referred, and the person that referred understands what you do and who you're looking for. So it's the ideal client and warm, right? And I think that's really important. And so getting to know people, understanding what they're looking for, and just giving to them to start with to make them want to give to you. Like, I think that's really the formula, right? Starting with, how can I help someone else out?
Yeah. No, that's great points there. And when you mention, the warm referral means there's already some trust factor built in there. For a lot of our marketing, we want to help build trust along the way for people, but there is still an element of that which, when it's someone who doesn't know about you yet, there's some hurdles to overcome and there's some things to work out with marketing. But having that warm referral trust factor is already built in. I was speaking to another landscape contractor the other day, and he shared his story. And he's in B&I as well, and he shared his story where he came along and someone had referred a service to them. I think it was sprinkler repair or something like that, and it wasn't in his typical wheelhouse. But because someone in his network had actually referred it, he went out there and took the time to do the job and help them out. And that person was actually in the group there as well. They came back to the group and just raved about his customer service, the way he handled himself, getting the work done fixed quickly, and everyone else in that room just had that new level of trust, not only for themselves, for them needing future work, but also in referrals as well. So that was really cool to hear that. Um, Now, I know from your sense, and from what you do, you partner with a few of the other industries and business owners, realtors, and things like that in our network. Um, and you guys seem to have a really great strategy in attracting interested leads, interested prospects, targeting people who it might take longer for them to work with you, or in the case of a realtor, it's a massive purchase decision. And same with the outdoor living construction side of things, like it's a lot of times it's a bigger investment there as well. I've seen you guys share a little bit about that, so would you mind kind of talking me through some of these events that you guys have run together, and what it's like for people who come along and actually experience them?
Yeah, sure. So, and I mean, I've done this with multiple realtors. The obvious example is the one Jenica in our BNI group. So we'll host events. Typically, most of them have been set up where I'm actually the primary presenter, but they're also set up where we both present. Part of the idea there is, we do market to people that maybe we don't know by letting people know about it. But one of the core things we're doing is getting Jenica's clients in front of me and getting my clients in front of Jenica, right?
Yeah.
By marketing to our own clients, saying, "Hey, we're doing this event." So like Jenica, I'm an estate planning attorney. You own a house, you need an estate plan. She sells people houses, right? So it's a natural fit. And so we do events that are complementary to our clients, with the idea that, the real idea is to deliver value, right? Deliver
Yeah.
value to the people, so they walk out of there knowing something. But with Jenica, like, I don't know, she's a really good example of referral network. And you want me to talk about that a little bit, I can. Beyond the events, like, I think the events are great things, right?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
relatively inexpensive. We invite people. We can do paid advertising if we want, but we haven't had to really to fill the room. And I always make money out of it. And I always make her clients happy. And she's definitely gotten clients from my client base out of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. I mean, how did you guys kind of coordinate that? What was, for someone starting out who's and yeah, maybe in the contractor space here, or like, where do you start?
One of the places, okay, honestly, here's where you start. You start, if you're going to do an event with another person, you start with a person that has a list of clients that they have a relationship with. You start with someone who has a list of clients, a group of clients that trust them. You start with someone that has a group and a list of clients that they regularly communicate with, that's not a sales pitch. That they regularly
Yeah.
provide value and information to their clients. That way, when something like an event comes up, it's not just the latest sales email they got from this person, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
for example, Jenica holds client appreciation events that have no purpose other than to say thank you, right? She delivers information to them. So you find a partner like that, right? And hopefully you take care of your clients like that as well, and whatever that means for your space. And I think that's where you start, and then you just brainstorm what makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. And I mean, we mentioned BNI as one group to find people there. How else would you suggest, or what have you seen really work in terms of people's expanding their network to meet people like that?
Yeah, so I can just give the example of Chamber of Commerce, right? I'm in Lakeside, California. I'm a member of the Lakeside Chamber of Commerce. Um, they have monthly events that you go to. You get to know people. You get to give a little pitch each week or each month when you go. And that's worked really well for me, right? I go to those events. I meet people. You get to know them. You understand what they're doing. There's a tax guy out here that refers me clients. There's just members that have hired me because they've gotten to know me. But what I really like about that, and it's the same thing I like about BNI, is you're choosing to go to a place at a time where people are there thinking about business, right? They're there to be other business owners, to see who they can refer to and who can refer to them, right? The idea is not to socialize, it's to actually network, develop referral partners, and then take that relationship out of there and develop it further so that you can really have a relationship where you feel comfortable referring to people and people referring to you.
Focused networking.
Yeah, exactly. Focused networking. And that focused networking needs to be somewhere where focused networking is expected, right?
Yeah.
There's tons of networking that's just social. That's really, like, it's not worth your time. Like, if people are just going to drink beer and talk, like, you want to be somewhere where people are intentional about, they're trying to build their network and they understand you're trying to build your network.
Yeah, no, that's great. From my experience, the paid factor to those networking is really key. Paying for your membership, or paying for your time. Being nice, your time is expected to be there. I know you can look on the Meetup, if anyone's seen the Meetup app on your phone. There are tons of different networking groups that come up there, and usually they're pretty minimal cost. But having visited those as well, even some of the networking ones, there's definitely a level to where people are at in business and where their focus is, when people are willing to spend more money and more time actually investing into something there too. And then just a free SEO marketing tip for everyone watching, joining your Chamber of Commerce, they're going to give you a backlink to your website, which is going to help with their SEO, and other networking groups can do that as well. So thanks for sharing around that. Now, brainstorming for specific industries for landscape and hardscape contractors, but really just contractors in general, because this really applies to them. What specific industries and people should they be looking out for to network with?
There's a couple answers on that. I want to start with, honestly, realtors. Like, if you find a good realtor that you can build a relationship with, like, they're the best. Like, give you an example. In BNI, we have a pest control company, right? Our realtor refers to our pest control people every time to do an inspection. Now, maybe that doesn't apply to, landscaping and hardscape in the back, but think of this, right? They are working with her on $1 million, $1.5 million purchase, right? They're building real trust with her. And they're probably telling her, when we buy this, here's our plans for the backyard. So Jenica's, if you find the right realtor, they're the type of realtor that want to help that person make that happen. And if you have a relationship with them, she or he is going to say to the client, like, I've got the perfect person for you for this, right? It's an easy referral, because each time they're selling a house, they're experiencing this. So I think that's one. Almost every industry, like, should network with realtors. Like, they should. Good realtors want to know everybody so they can provide their clients whatever they might need. Not all realtors are good realtors, by the way, right? Like, just to be clear, you got to find the right people. Right? Let's see. We have plumbers. We have mold remediation people. We have contractors. We have all these people. And what ends up happening, right, is they're doing their lane and something ancillary comes up. And so they need something slightly out of what they do to do that. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, the contractor maybe does an ADU, right? But he's not doing what they're doing in the space between the ADU and the main house, and maybe
Yeah.
needs someone to go out to do that. So honestly, like I think a general contractor is probably a good person for any contractor to know for whatever they
Yeah.
don't do. Our mold remediation guy, right? He can send work to the plumber because there's a leak. We need to fix the leak. He can send work to other people. Back to our termite, our pest control people, right? Like if there is by the way, this is my deck, right? There's some rot in my deck, and they identify that, and then we need to find somebody that does deck work, right?
Yeah.
So all these pieces are interconnected. To me, I don't. Here's sort of one way to look at it. I think is if you think of your ideal client, right, and you think of what else they might need, right? Like what else do they need at their house? What else do they need at their life? And think about who those people are that would provide that service. Like you want to go meet those people so you can refer those people to your client for the stuff you don't do. And then those people will refer to you for their clients what they don't do.
Yeah. That
Right?
it makes total sense, really, when you think about it that way. And some of the ones I've seen work really well. The contractors' relationships. They want to work with people who do a good job, etc., etc. And again, that trust is inbuilt between the contractors. They're going to refer people to you, and for people hiring contractors, that trust factor is such a key area there as well. And I like what you said about those industries where, these ancillary things come up. And, for us personally as a marketing agency, when we're speaking to our clients, the ancillary services that can come up are things like their bookkeeping, their payroll, business coaching services, and those types of things there too. So for us, it's definitely like it's an added benefit we love sharing with our clients is, hey, I notice this is happening with your payment processing. We actually, we have someone who can probably get you a better rate, and you'd have like personalized service, which a lot of payment processing companies don't allow. So we've seen that work personally there too. But I like those examples around realtors and then contractors there as well. Now switching on, and this is kind of like our last point of focus here is how to accelerate your business growth through local visibility and influence. And some of the things I want to touch on here is, community involvement, your presence online in local groups. Facebook community groups are really the biggest ones, but there are other things like Nextdoor. And could you speak into that, like what you've seen work really well for other businesses and yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I can actually talk about both Nextdoor and Facebook groups. I'm not really on Nextdoor, but a couple of my clients have posted nice things about me on Nextdoor. And when anyone asks in the community for an estate planning attorney, like my clients tend to jump in and respond, saying you should contact Steve. Part of that comes from doing a good job for your clients so that they want to say they work with you. That's essentially what they're doing, right? They're saying, I work with you. And it's interesting. We had someone in the BNI meeting this morning talk about Nextdoor, right? They said that whenever they're on Nextdoor, and whenever they see somebody asking for a recommendation for somebody in a profession in our BNI group, like they're posting like, you should contact this person, right? So, having a group of people out there speaking for you is great, but that's not really in your control, right? Like that's great to do. You have some control over that. But, so in the neighborhood I live in Lakeside, we get mentioned in the Facebook group a lot. So we've done events, local events basically in our neighborhood, right, where we invite people to them in their educational events. And we've gotten clients out of that. So we have clients so we have people in the neighborhood who've seen, like, this is what I do, and I do educational events. And then we have clients jump in when people ask, like, who's good for an estate planning attorney? And they're like, Steve. And by the way, this is true of a lot of different professions. We interviewed a housekeeper today. When I say we, my wife did. I wasn't there. And it is a neighbor's housekeeper that basically the recommendation came through the neighborhood Facebook group page. So part of it's just, somehow getting yourself on there. And sometimes it's being present. Like if it's your neighborhood, somebody asks, like, I do that, right? I do that. Give me a call. You sort of get known. So yeah, that's one way to do it. By the way, the Chamber of Commerce is also another way to get known locally. We talked about that a little bit already, but like those are generally maybe not neighborhood or Facebook focused, but it's also local, right?
Yeah. No, that's good. And I like your point there. You mentioned you have to do good work and you have to have good relationships with your clients for them to actually want to refer you. And what we do see working really well in the outdoor living, construction industry there is you're in the neighborhood, you've got your trucks there, your branding's there. Obviously people see that. You can put yard signs up while you're doing the work. People see that as well. But going that extra step while you're in the area, whether it's you or someone in your crew, going around and introducing yourselves to the neighbors just in that immediate area. And that's like going the extra mile, beyond just, relying on your client to say something, but, you're in the area, make use of that local visibility, like that proximity while you're right there. Make them an offer or something like that. Referral incentives for customers. I know that can be a bit of a tricky area for people, but have you seen anything like that work?
Yeah. So two things. First, I want to say on your point about going around and saying hi to neighbors when you're working on something, my in-laws will absolutely hire you if you do that, if they're looking for that type of work. That's who they want to hire, is who their neighbor hired, right?
Yeah.
Who they saw parked across the street or down the street the last couple of days, doing work, showing up every day on time. Like, honestly, like almost everyone my in-laws hire to do work around their house comes from somebody that was working in the neighborhood, basically stopping by, or she stops by and asks them when they're driving by. But yeah. So that's a good point. On in referral incentives. So I'm in a profession where we can't pay for referrals. Like we're legally not allowed to do it. So it's a little different for us. We can sort of do it with other attorneys. But what we do instead is we tell our people, like, look, if you refer someone to me, I can't give you anything for doing that. That's just how it works for my profession. But what I can do is anyone you refer, I'm going to give them a discount. I'm going to tell them, because you cared so much about them to refer to me, I'm going to give them the discount. And that works better for the new client. And most people, they're okay with that. They're okay with not personally getting something back for referring their friend. Right? Not everybody, but most people.
Yeah. No, that's good. And it doesn't leave people with like an icky feeling, which can do. I mean, some people won't care; they'll want it. And something that we actually use in our agency, we use for our clients in certain situations is, collecting reviews is incredibly important for all of us, for all businesses should be into finding ways to get as many reviews as possible. Now, it's against, in Google in particular, it's against Google guidelines to incentivize people with monetary rewards and things like that. But there is a method that we see that works pretty well. Is we have clients or ourselves, you pick a charity or a local organization, and you can tell people, hey, for every review or referrals, every referral we get, we actually donate whatever amount to this organization, this charity. And then it seems to really bring in that community involvement and community spirit there as well. And it's the opposite of the icky feeling of people feel great about doing that as well. So that's a strategy we've seen work really well.
Can I share a quick story?
Absolutely.
Well, two quick stories. One is I literally just got a text right now that says, when can I go look at the work? Right there. It says it, I promise. That is for someone to come bid doing our yard. That is a referral.
Right? This wasn't planned, everyone. Just so we know, that wasn't planned.
It really wasn't. It's a referral from a banker that I know that's in our BNI group, right? I had an ask for a new person to come look at I actually had a referral for someone to come look at my sprinkler system, right? And so I got a referral for this person who may not be the perfect person for that, but I'm not happy with my yard guy. They're going to come out, give me a bid, right? So when we talked earlier about like, who do you network with? Like, I don't know, make your clients happy and network with everybody to some extent, right? Make sure you're known. But anyway, that was kind of fun. And that made me forget my other story.
The story.
I just thought that was so timely that I had to share it.
No, that's great. And look, that's it. That's all I wanted to cover through today. And really just, Steve, you have such connection with your clients and the networking, the people in your local communities there too. So you're the perfect fit to come on here and talk about this. And for everyone watching, I hope you got some great practical areas where you can implement this as well. And Steve, I just want to thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was a blast.
Awesome. Have a great day. Cool. All right.